Almost everything that could go wrong for Arkansas farmers did go wrong this year. And it's so bad that many are facing bankruptcy or even the closure of farms that have been passed down for generations. A dismal global market and plunging commodity prices mean there's little to no hope of breaking even for many farmers, even as sky-high input costs rise because of inflation and now tariffs. Today, Arkansas farmers gathered to share their struggles with staffers from the state's congressional delegation, pleading for Arkansas lawmakers on Capitol Hill and the governor to convince President Trump to provide emergency funding to help them make it to next year.
We have to have ad hoc payments right now to make it through this year.
If there's no emergency funding this year, there will be 1 out of 3 farmers will file bankruptcy.
Until the federal government steps in to save them, farmers have no one to turn to but God.
25 or 30% of the farmers in this country, if they don't do something, it has to be done, and it's not just here, it's everywhere.
Farmers are making a cry for help before it's too late. Countless farmers gathered to speak to representatives of Arkansas leaders to share the urgency that something needs to be done about the current state of farming. Jake Tester was at the meeting and now joins us in the studio with more. Jake.
Many farmers spoke up at the meeting, and the message was straightforward. They need help, and they need it now.
Mr. Trump, you looked at me, sir, and you said, I love you. Mr. Trump, I need to see the fruit of your love.
Farmers in crisis align way out the door of the Woods Chapel Baptist Church in Brooklyn as hundreds of farmers from not only northeast Arkansas, but from across the state came to voice their concerns about the current state of farming. Representatives from U.S. Congressman Rick Crawford, U.S. Senator Tom Cotton, and U.S. Senator John Boozman's offices were in attendance to hear those concerns. Among those farmers in attendance was a farmer in Woodruff County, Chris King. He told me this was his 39th harvest, and he has never seen it as bad as this.
And I've never been as worried as I am now about whether or not my kids and grandkids will be able to carry on.
For King, the main problem starts with the fact that they can't sell for profit.
I just would like to see somebody help us get our markets back. We need our exports, and we just need to be paid for what we do, and that's not happening, and we're in real trouble.
But that is not the only issue. King's wife, Melissa King, and farmer in Biggers, Arkansas, Scott Brown, said they are struggling to afford the cost that is needed just to take care of the farm.
The prices that we're getting now are prices like they were when we were children, and what it costs for us to farm is astronomical now. I mean, the price of a combine when we were kids was, in the 20,000s, and now it's 100,000.
I farm 800 acres by myself. I can't afford any help. I farm with paid-for equipment. All my tractors are 50 years old, and I can't hardly make this deal work. How's the guys farming 5 and 10,000 with 20 hands and $1 million combines and $1 million drills going to make it work?
But for Brown, there is something that rounds out all the issues that they are facing, the tariffs.
I think the tariffs are the ice cream on the cake of a perfect storm. When you try to sell a product, okay, U.S. soybeans leaving New Orleans without the tariff to China are cheaper than Brazilian soybeans at the current market. But when you put the tariff on top of them, Brazilian beans are cheaper.
So how can this be fixed?
In the short term, they have no choice but to mail us a check. I don't know a farmer that likes the check program. Nobody wants to take taxpayer dollars, but nobody wants to go broke. Nobody wants to lose everything. Long term, we have to have options, markets, and places to sell our product.
Now those representatives in attendance will be taking these concerns they heard to Washington, D.C. to share with the government leaders so they can try and find a way to solve this problem before it's too late. Reporting in the studio, Jake Tester, K8 News.
East Arkansas representatives of Senator Boozman, Tom Cotton, and Representative Crawford released the following statement saying in part, quote, these reforms and investments, once implemented, will help address economic challenges and natural disasters to preserve family farms. Our delegation will continue to work closely with them, state leaders, and the Trump administration to help address their concerns and protect Arkansas's farming heritage and outlook, end quote.
We've lost 536,543 farms. Over 500,000 farms gone. At the same time, we've lost 165 million acres of farmland.
Arkansas, surrounded by Oklahoma, Louisiana, Missouri. All from Texas, and then Texas, yeah, Texas down. So I'm from there to the top of South Dakota, North Dakota, the Red Belt. So I'm this guy. They voted for Trump. Trump, and Trump started a war with China. China, which is a major importer of U.S. soybean. Yeah, it's a major importer of U.S. soybean. And Arkansas is a great producer of soybean and rice. And these things, they have not been having better prices in the markets because of the recent tariff war and the hardships in the economy. They have caused these guys not to have better prices for their produce in the markets. That's why you are seeing them gather in the town halls. They are demanding better from the president. So this president, who was elected majorly by these rural farmers, what is he doing to elevate their situation?
Ladies and gentlemen, Arkansas, much like every other state, is on the verge of agricultural disaster. We need to come together and send aid to Arkansas before they collapse. But before we do, I want to know how they voted. Interessante. Well, folks, nothing to see here. This place got 100% what it voted for. And that's it.
Hey, Arkansas farmers, Arkansas, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. You all voted to allow all of this to happen. You all raised against China. You all raised against the rest of the world. But you want China to buy your soybeans and your whatever the hell you produce. Yeah, the people that you despise, you want them to buy shit from you, right? That's not how the world works. And since you hate socialism, no money for you. Because socialism means taxpayers' money is shared. But you don't want that. So I suggest, Miss Arkansas farmer, that you pull yourself up by the bootstraps. That's what you wanted everybody else to do. And if you think the countries that you despise want to buy your produce and your hogs and your chicken and your soybeans, they're not buying American products because of your hate-filled MAGA agenda.
So I was able to get some rest. And I'm sitting here catching up on the news. And let's start with local news, being as I'm in Arkansas. It seems that hundreds of Arkansas farmers got together and had a meeting with Tom Cotton. Seems they're struggling. Really? Who would have guessed? Here's the thing. There was a gentleman on there. I'm not going to say his name. If you want to know who he is, just go fucking look at the meeting between Tom Cotton and Arkansas farmers today. And what this gentleman said, I'm sorry, I'm laying down in my massage chair. It's getting ready to sit me up right now. What this gentleman said was, Donald Trump, you looked me in the face and said, I love you. That should have been your first fucking red flag. Not along with the rest of the fucking red flags that we handed you. We handed you red flags on a daily fucking basis. Arkansas and the rest of the red states that are fucking ass struggling, you did this. And you didn't only do it to yourself, you did it to the rest of us. Now you were crying, Biden is such a detriment to this country. He's so terrible. This is so bad. We have to, Donald Trump's gonna save us. Really? I don't seem to remember any fucking farmer meetings during the Biden administration. I believe you guys got a shit ton of fucking funding, left and right, from the Biden administration. And what happened when Donald Trump came in? He hooked up his fucking Tesla buddy and they ripped the funding right out from under you on day fucking one. And now you're wondering why you're struggling? And now you're asking Donald Trump, you said you loved us. Your first fault was pretending that a fucking politician loves you. And loving him back, that's another fucking red flag. The fact that this whole fucking country went berserk and bought up fucking Donald Trump American flags with his fucking fist pump and thought that that was the best thing for America. Good job, because not only have you fucked yourself, your farm, and your kids and grandkids' inheritance, you fucked the rest of America and the rest of the world, because the food that we would export is no longer going to get exported. So guess what happens? Fuck. I can't even believe that you guys are out there making a meeting, making yourself look dumb as fuck, because this is what you voted for. This is what we've been listening to for the past 200 days. He's doing exactly what we voted him for. This is what I voted for. This is what I voted for. Is this what you fucking voted for? Way to go, Arkansas farmers. Now the rest of the world can see what a fucking crock of shit this whole fucking country is.
January of 2024, Biden wanted to allocate 18 billion to farmers in these red states, the Inflation Reduction Act, to support these farmers so that they can push his climate agenda. They can farm carbon capturing crops. So he wanted to fund to channel 18 billion into these farms, and 773 million US dollars was made for Arkansas. Was it 773 or 10.6 billion? I guess it was 773 million. I look into it. It was made for Arkansas, but the Republican senators and other members of Congress, they voted against it. I don't know why.
Arkansas farmers, it is officially your time to come take this medicine. A year ago in 2024, not unlike Kerrville, Texas, you were offered bailouts. You were offered assistance from the government in order to subsidize your farms by the Biden administration. And a lot of you voted against it. You did not want to get behind anything that had to do with the Democrats. You let the culture war invade your logic, and you let it get in the way of saving your farms. Now your hero, your messiah, has been voted into office and immediately started gutting any earning potential that you had on your farms. Between the immigration policy that is snatching up workers off of these farms with no remorse, to the tariffs that we pay for that are killing any profits that you could have made this year. Now you are all sitting here saying that you need government assistance. Go figure. And some of you are saying if you don't get it, your farms will shut down. Let me ask you this question. Why is it different with this president? Why is it more acceptable to ask for this assistance from this president? Also, what makes you think he's going to give it to you? Your own governor, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, has been pleading for help from this man. She worked in his administration the first time, and he didn't give anything to her. Plus, his vice president has financial stake in an app that profits off of bankrupting private farms in America. I'm sorry, guys, there's no way around this conversation. Voting has consequences, and those consequences are going to be the loss of your farms.
Okay, so Arkansas farmers got together in northeast Arkansas and had a meeting with other politicians from our state to talk about the farming crisis. The amount of comments of "this is who you voted for," it doesn't matter who you voted for, it still affects everyone, not just farmers. I can't imagine being in a place where you're trying to not only save your occupation, but to also help save, because no doubt you eat some of the food that these people are growing. Arkansas produces the most rice in the United States. So it affects you. I don't care who you voted for. Whenever I offer a lending hand, I'm not asking who you voted for. Did you vote Democrat? How dare you? It doesn't matter who you vote for. And as long as you keep up this whole, well, that's who you voted for, nothing changes and nothing gets fixed. And you stay divided just like they want you to. So, just stop commenting the little, this is who you voted for. Because you sound uneducated whenever you post that.
So, guys, what do you think about these farmers? Should we start a GoFundMe for them, or should they reap what they sow? Because farms are closing at a high rate in this country. Yes, people are shifting away from farming. Farming is no longer profitable. It is no longer pride, because I don't think if government is planning to destroy our farms or what. And when these farms collapse, what takes them is these big corporations. You see, Bill Gates is the biggest landowner in US. I don't know if it's true or not. China is buying our farms. So when these small farmers can't do farming, they have to sell their farms. And who are they selling to? These big corporations. So the Republicans, when Joe Biden tried to channel funding into these agriculture farms, the Republicans voted against it. I don't know why. Maybe they thought that it would influence the elections. Probably yes, probably not. Because some money was meant for Texas, other for Kansas, Illinois. Mostly states which are red, they were meant to receive this funding. And mostly states which have much farming, they were meant to receive this funding. But the Republicans voted against it. So you see, when you see these guys in town halls, they are demanding Trump to help them at least push on to the next year, because they are claiming that their farms are collapsing. Their children don't want to inherit them because there's no pride in it anymore. So, guys, tell us what you think in the comment section. We'll be waiting, and we'll appreciate your thoughts.